What's going on, guys? It's Yogi. I'm filling in for Chandler again today. And today I wanted to talk about single family homes versus multi-units. I own a bunch of single family homes. That's the majority of what I own. And that's where I got my start, and I will continue investing in single family homes. So I wanted to talk a little bit about strategy, pros and cons of each, and kind of give you guys an honest analysis of why I think single family homes are a really good place to put your money. So to start the video out, this is the first rental property that I bought in Idaho. So I've owned this for, let's see, coming up on 3 years. It'll be 3 years next month. I paid $130,000 for this house, and my mortgage is $625 a month. I have it rented out right now at $800. Now, I probably should raise the rent. The tenant that is living in it has lived in it the entire 3 years. So he's never moved out. He's been here the whole time and will continue to live in it for a while. I've never raised rents on him. I think I could probably get another 150 or so out of it. He's been such a good tenant that I honestly haven't worried about it. I don't have a property manager for this property. It's the only one that I still manage myself. So I've kind of justified, you know, hey, he saved me some money there. I just Venmo charge him for his rent every month, and he never caused me any problems, and so I've kept his rent low. And then behind this house, there's a shop that I rent out for $150 a month. So I'm bringing in $950 consistently every single month, which means that I'm cash flowing $325 before any expenses. And honestly, another good thing about this property, whoever owned it before me did a flip basically. So I've had really minimal expenses. I had to replace a fridge. We bought used, it was $300, and I had to repair the roof. Just a couple spots it was leaking, that was about $400. Those are the only things I've had to fix in the last 3 years. Grand total, if we say I'm making $325 a month, let's see how good my mental math is. $325 a month over 36 months.
2,000 years later.
$12,600. Let's check me on that. $11,700. I was really close. $11,700, and then minus the 700. So I've made $11,000 on this property. Now the really cool thing is I bought this property for $130,000. If I were to sell it today, okay, list it, sell it, I could probably get $200,000 to $215,000 out of this house. So I could make, you know, another 70 or 85 grand just in the appreciation. And so that's one of the things that we talked about in the last video with Dane Jackson Watkins, my good friend, was how the market he's investing in is crazy for cash flow, but not as strong for appreciation. Idaho's been a really strong market for appreciation, and single family homes kind of in this price range have appreciated honestly more than anything else. So it's been an awesome investment for me, and let's go check out the next one. I saw this and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to do an ad. So we're gonna do an ad for this underground house. Those of you who don't live in Idaho, I don't know if people have underground houses in other places, but there's a bunch of them here. If you have one, come find me and maybe sell it to me. Are you a vampire or someone who really likes to live in dark, dreary places and only in dark and dreary places? Come by one of our underground houses. Welcome to southeastern Idaho. All right, you guys will have to forgive me for my dirty truck. This is a working mobile. So one of the things I wanted to hit on with single family homes versus multi-units, with a single family home, you can generally get in for a little bit less down. So you can put 15% down on a single family home as an investment property. Whereas with a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, you almost exclusively, depending on your bank, there's always some stipulations or some things, but you almost exclusively have to put 25% down. So for a new investor who maybe doesn't have unlimited capital and still wants to get into investing, a single family home can be a really, really good option. A 15 or 20% down payment, and then you're into your first investment property. You also, generally speaking, get a little bit better interest rates with a single family home versus a multi-unit. just because of how banks do things. So a little better interest rate, lower down payment, it can be a really, really good option. And I think my favorite part of buying single family homes is that your level of competition is lower. So rather than competing against, you know, investors like Chandler who own 100 units and have perfect credit and perfect down payment and pre-approval letters, you're competing against a lot of times, you know, first-time home buyers or people that are looking to live there themselves, and they look at it as like, hey, is this a good place for my family? And so there's little things where they can be nitpicky about, and you as an investor can come in and say, hey, look, I'm not worried that the carpet's ugly. If you give it to me at this price, I'll replace that myself, and it's not a big deal because you understand that this is an investment and it's a numbers thing, and it's not so much of an emotional decision. So this is another single family home that I own. I was gonna get the details on this one. I own this house. Oh. Sorry, we're just checking on things, not yours. Just wondering what the heck you was doing. Yeah, sorry about that. Just had a run-in with the next door neighbor. She was not happy. This house, I bought about maybe a year and a half ago, and we picked it up off market, which was awesome. I paid $155. My interest rate is only 3.125%, which means that my monthly payment, including all the escrow, is like $660. So this is rented out at $1,300, which is great. I'm making fantastic cash flow on that. I need a Red Bull. This one we do use a property management company for, but there again haven't been any crazy expenses, and you can see it needs a little fascia work and some painting and stuff around the edges, but it's been rented the entire time I've owned it. So it's been an awesome property. Another great example of, you know, a property that cash flows $400, $500, $600 a month, and kind of what single family homes look like. Just a little, while we're doing the tour de Idaho Falls, Colby Markowski owns this duplex. So he bought this, again, about a year and a half ago, and that's been an incredible unit for him. Colby's under contract on 12 more units right now, so he's crushing it. It's always fun to see your friend doing really well with real estate. Yeah, one of the biggest things that I like about single family homes that I think I timed the market really well was that appreciation factor. Affordable homes in Idaho Falls, I kind of saw and took a guess. I got lucky maybe in a sense, but you know, I kind of guessed that the prices were going to keep going up, and as prices go up, people who were buying some of the bigger, you know, newer construction homes are forced into areas like this where they buy older homes and fix them up, and you know, the demand for these homes goes way up, and so property values have just gone through the roof. And so again, that house that we just saw, I paid $150 for it just really probably a year and a half ago, and if I listed it today, that would probably sell for $250 is my guess, maybe $225 on the low side. But either way, in a year and a half, it's appreciated $75,000 to $100,000 in value. You know, when you think, hey, I only had to put $35,000 down to get into that property, that return alone, not even factoring in the cash flow, which the cash flow has been good, but that return alone has been absolutely incredible. And I think that's one of the things that Chandler and I kind of have, neither opinion's wrong, but just differing views on. He prioritizes cash flow a lot, which is a good thing to do. Cash flow is incredible. I don't think there's anything that feels better than getting a great cash flow check every month. But generally speaking, on multi-unit properties, because you have more units to rent and more people making, you know, payments towards that same mortgage, I guess, or whatever, generally speaking, you will cash flow better with a multi-unit property. And I'd be curious, you know, if we did a side-by-side comparison of a, you know, a property that he bought back then and some of these single-family homes, how the appreciation has been on those multi-units, because it's been really good on those too, but I would guess that these single-family homes have probably out-appreciated some of those multi-units. So this is another one I figured I'd show you guys really quick. This one I bought from that same person off market. It was a property manager that I connected with. I paid $135 for this. It's 3 beds, 1 bath. It's not crazy nice on the inside, but it doesn't need any work either. And my mortgage on this guy, $576. So my monthly payment's $576, And if I remember right, this is rented out at $11.50. So again, you know, that's $600 a month in cash flow, minus the 8% that I pay to the property manager and any expenses. But it hasn't had any crazy expenses. The tenants take care of the lawn. They kind of just live in it and do their thing, and it's been an awesome unit. And I think it'll keep hopefully renting well and, you know, hopefully appreciating. It's always hard to know where you're at on the appreciation scale, if things are going to keep going way up or maybe we'll have a little dip, but either way I'm in good shape. I paid $130, like I say, $130 or $135. I owe $99,000 on it right now, this second, $99,394. And if I sold it, I think I could probably sell it for $225 or $230. So it's been a great little house for us and appreciated really well. Another thing with these single family homes, I think most real estate investors, or at least most of the active guys that I work with, they've learned so much from Chandler. And you know, Chandler's the master. He's the best. I will never catch up to Chandler in the real estate world. He's been incredible. But one of the things that the guys, I think, have learned almost too much from him is that multi-units are the best. And so, you know, a lot of the active guys pass up on these single family homes when they're awesome. And especially if you're someone who wants to house hack, a single family home is incredible because you can get into it for a really low down payment. Even on a conventional loan, if you're owner occupying, you can get in for 5% down. You have to intend to live there for a year, and then you can move out and do the same thing and rent the house that you were living in. Fix it up while you live there, maybe repaint, maybe replace the counters. Some of those fixes that aren't crazy expensive, but add a ton of value. And man, you could owner occupy a home and do that every single year. House hack until you have 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, 6 rentals is if you're willing to do it for a long time. And so single family homes, especially if you're house hacking, are an awesome way to go. All of these that I've showed you guys are probably B- kind of neighborhoods, B- kind of homes. They're definitely not nice, definitely not somewhere that I would want to live for 40 or 50 years, but man, if you're in your 20s or early 30s and it's your first home, or you're just getting into real estate investing, there's nothing better. You have your own yard, you can have a dog, you don't have people on both sides of you. Like, house hack one of these B- homes and turn it into something nice, and it'll rent really well and it'll be awesome for you. So just a good idea. One thing I noticed for the YouTube videos, I don't have a Tesla, so I have to watch the road. Chandler's always watching the camera while he drives, but I gotta really watch what I'm doing here. I got this house for under $100,000 right before the world kind of shut down with the pandemic. I put like 12 grand into it, and then I refinanced and pulled out all of my money. So I used a HELOC to buy it is what I did. And there's a whole video about it. But I really don't have more than like 10 grand into this property. And that's including all the fixes we did because of how we set it up. And like I said, go watch those other videos. They'll give you a lot more information. But my mortgage on this house is $587 a month. And we have it rented out at $1,250. So again, it's $700 a month in cash flow, minus what we pay the property management and any expenses, which, because I fixed it up before these guys moved in, it hasn't had any expenses. So this is it. It's this kind of bluish one, and I always get super excited to see stuff like this. Like, they've decorated for Halloween. Obviously they're taking pride in it and they're enjoying it. And so just knowing that, like, you know, hey, I've provided a good family with a quality place to live and they're obviously happy with it, that's a really rewarding feeling, and it makes me excited. And you know, that's another part of real estate investing that's a lot of fun. So looks like they're taking good care of it, and yeah, it's been an awesome investment property for me. We replaced the roof, replaced a couple windows, redid flooring inside and repainted, and it's a good little place. I owe just under $100,000 on it, and I think if I sold that one today, this busy road definitely affects the resale value. I don't know if it matters too much for a rental, but if I sold that property today, I guarantee I could probably get $215 or $220, maybe more than that. It's pretty big on the inside and it's relatively nice. So again, that's an awesome deal for cash flow, and it's been an even better deal for appreciation. So those are some examples of the single family homes that I own around town. There's 2 or 3 others, and then that one up in Ashton that we've been using for Airbnb. But multi-units are awesome. There's nothing wrong with a multi-unit. If you can get into a killer duplex or triplex or fourplex or eightplex, do it. Jump in with both feet. But if you're looking for something to start out, or maybe you don't have quite as much cash, or you want to own or occupy, or you're in a really competitive market where you haven't been able to get your hands on one of those good multi-units, don't forget about the single family homes, especially in kind of this B- area where maybe it's not a forever place, but it's a good house. All right, guys, that was a little tour d'Idaho Falls, the most beautiful city in the world. We got to check out 3 or 4 of the single family homes that I own here around town, and hopefully gave you guys some good information and got everybody excited about buying another type of investment property. So multi-units are incredible. Single family homes are also really, really good. And like I say, depending on market conditions, in my humble opinion, I think they could even be better in some ways. So check out some single family homes and let me know in the comments, or shoot me a message if you find anything good. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was fun, and I always appreciate the nice things you guys say, and tuning out. Oh, I always forget, smash the like button, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.